This is CBS 12 News at 6.
Now at 6, complete Vote 2012 coverage as you're looking live at Air Force One. It just arrived at PBIA. President Obama in town on his two-day campaign trip through the swing state continues, keeping the pressure on his Republican rival. We'll be going back to this live picture in just a moment. But first, here's another live look at where the president is expected to take the podium in just a few minutes to speak at Century Village in West Palm Beach. We have live team coverage tonight with CBS 12's Peter Schaller, who's taking you live inside Century Village, where President Obama is speaking tonight. And CBS 12's Al Pefley is live in the town of Manalapan, where the president will stay overnight. And CBS 12's Ben Becker is live at PBIA, where Air Force One just landed moments ago. Team coverage begins now. A very busy news day today. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Liz Quirantes.
And I'm Eric Roby. The presidential candidates are making Florida a priority this year when campaigning this election season, hoping to snag our 29 electoral votes.
Our coverage of the presidential visit begins now with CBS 12's Ben Becker, who is live at Palm Beach International Airport, where Air Force One just landed. Ben?
All right, you can see right now, Air Force One, a mere 50 yards away from our vantage point right now. The plane landed at 5:52. It arrived a little bit late because of weather in Jacksonville that we've been telling you about all afternoon. And again, the president will deboard the plane as soon as it comes to a complete stop. It's going to hit to a stop here in just a moment. Now, we are 110 days away from the election. The president comes to Florida. As the polls show, he's in a dead heat with Mitt Romney. The election may turn on the economy and whose vision Floridians believe in.
But the alternative is to go back to the policies that got us into the ditch in the first place.
Mark Siegel is the chairman of the Democratic Party of Palm Beach County. Florida's economy has shown signs of improvement since the president was elected, but unemployment is still above the national average at 8.6%, and the housing market is still recovering. But Siegel says the president is turning things around.
Bus driver who put you in the ditch, tow truck driver who's trying very hard to pull you out. Which one do you go with? I think you stick with the guy in the tow truck.
During the president's trip, he will once again tell Congress to act now before the Bush tax cuts expire at the end of the year. Republicans want to extend the cuts for everyone. Democrats don't for those making $250,000 or more per year.
Complete refusal of the Republican Congress to do anything to try to move the economy forward. It's all taking too long.
I'm really happy he's coming to Palm Beach County.
Tom Duncan is the president of Northwood University and a political science analyst. Floridians have cast more than 30 million votes during the past 5 presidential elections, and only 50,000 votes have separated the two parties in those campaigns.
I hope he listens. I hope he's going to talk here in town to some senior citizens, and that's a very legitimate group in Florida.
If Obama can win Florida's 29 electoral votes, it would be difficult for Romney to mount enough support elsewhere to capture the White House. Siegel says the battle for Florida will come down to undecided voters and what message they choose to believe.
Voters in the middle subject to hundreds of millions of dollars of pants-on-fire lies. We're trying to organize a grassroots campaign to wash that away with a flood of small truths.
Well, it certainly feels anything but grassroots. When you take a look, Air Force One, the size of this plane is truly unbelievable. And there appears to be like a sea of people coming off of this plane, officials, security, a who's who. Now, also waiting in the wings, if you will, for the president are some local dignitaries, including County Commissioner Shelley Vanna, also Bert Aronson. You can see a group of some of the dignitaries right now as they're going to start walking towards the plane. Now, the president, of course, coming from Jacksonville, where he's doing a whole campaign swing of 2 days here in Florida as he looks to try to win the state of Florida once again. He won it in 2008, and Florida, of course, is going to be one of the main states that's going to swing the election whatever way possible in November, whether it's Florida, Ohio. Those are the two make-or-break states, and the president's going to be making many trips to Florida in the next coming weeks to be sure to try to lock down this state. So again, as you see, there's Air Force One. There's also a motorcade to the right here. We can get a look at one of these vehicles. What are these vehicles called? The Beast? This is not only bulletproof, but there's reports that this vehicle, if you touch it, you'll get an electric charge. It has all sorts of toys. It's a Motor Trend fantasy. If you love cars, this car would be for you. Again, it protects the president, and I believe, from what I understand, it weighs about 12,000 pounds. So it's some sort of vehicle. Guys?
All right, Ben, thank you for that live report. And as you can see, there's a whole protocol that happens now. Everything is carefully choreographed. The presidential motorcade comes out for his car. All of the people, the VIPs that are standing by, have been prepped. They know that the president is not going to stand and talk to them and give hugs and kisses for very long. He's kind of going to be whisked through that line saying hello, as we're going to see in just a few minutes, and then continue on his way to Century Village.
Now, here is the president right now. He is the last person, generally from the main staff that deboards Air Force One. That's why it takes several minutes for this to happen. But as far as covering the president's visit to Palm Beach County, this is one of the fastest deboardings that we've actually seen.
Yeah.
That's probably because he is arriving about 20 minutes late due to some weather conditions up in Jacksonville, where his first event was in Florida earlier today. We see Ted Deutsch, who is also traveling. Congressman Ted Deutsch traveling with the president, as he is behind him right now. We're told that Shelley Vanna, who is the county commission chair of Palm Beach County, is greeting with the president right now, and also Commissioner Bert Aronson. This could be his last hurrah, since he is at his term limit and cannot run for re-election. But right now we are looking live as the president is meeting and greeting the dignitaries at Palm Beach International Airport. Now, we see a small group here, but right off to the side that is away from the president, there are about 150 other people. VIPs are here, not going to be able to press the flesh and shake the hands, but get a pretty good picture of the president.
That's right, and as you can see, everyone's taking there's Commissioner Bert Aronson there talking to the president. Everyone's taking their time, saying hello, of course, and greeting the president, welcoming him to the Palm Beaches. Of course, beautiful weather for the president. This, of course, would be very different had it been a couple of weeks ago during all that rain that we had. Beautiful weather for the president, hopefully a nice breeze there. Heat index, of course, as we've been telling you, about 100. So I don't think President Obama is going to want to stay in the sunshine there talking for too long. But everyone, of course, taking their moment in the sun there to greet the president and talk to him as much as they can. But he still has to stay on schedule. He has to speak at Century Village, and there are hundreds of people waiting for him there in West Palm Beach to listen to his speech. So there is a timetable. He can't spend too much time. But, of course, he wants to greet and say hello to everyone who's been waiting around for quite some time, waiting for him to arrive.
The next big question is where the motorcade is going to go. Is it going to take 95? Is it going to take the Turnpike? We're going to stay with this picture. Our producers are going to be watching this and letting you know, so we can give you that information to stay clear of the area, because there will be some rolling road closures due to the motorcade moving over to Century Village, which is actually just a couple miles away from Palm Beach International Airport. Well, less than 4 months before Election Day, a new poll indicates that the presidential race is still too close to call between Mitt Romney and the president. According to a new CBS News New York Times survey, Romney holds a slight edge over Obama, 47% to 46%. However, not everyone has made up their mind. The poll indicates that 1 in 5 voters say that they could change their decision by November. While our presidential visit team coverage continues right now, CBS 12's Peter Schaller is live in West Palm Beach, where the president is headed to now, over to Century Village. Now, his speech was scheduled to start at about 6:20 tonight, Peter. What time are you hearing it's actually going to start?
We're hearing it's going to start right around 7 o'clock, Eric. And what I can tell you, the speeches here from other people have started. The excitement is building. And also the president is scheduled to address the crowds here in just about an hour. As soon as those remarks happen, of course, we'll bring them to you live. He's going to be speaking to seniors at the main clubhouse at Century Village, who got one of the few tickets to the event. With the 29 electoral votes here in Florida up for grabs in November, both the president and Mitt Romney have made visiting Palm Beach County a big priority this campaign season. Romney visited Palm Beach County twice in the past 4 months for fundraising and campaign speeches. Obama was here this spring speaking at Florida Atlantic University and also for fundraising. Now, whether they support the president or not, Century Village residents are anticipating the presidential visit.
Outside of putting us on the map squarely, we do have residents who, for them, you know, in the age demographic, they're unlikely to see something like this again in their lifetime. So I think it's really a very big deal.
And after the president's remarks here, he's going to travel to Manalapan to stay overnight. Then, of course, he's heading out first thing tomorrow morning from PBIA at 9:30. Of course, it's not only supporters here. The local Republicans are planning counter rallies all over Palm Beach County that are also happening right now. Of course, we'll keep you posted, and when the President of the United States arrives here, we'll bring it to you live. Live in West Palm Beach, Peter Schaller, CBS 12 News.
All right, thank you, Peter. And the president is now getting into his motorcade, so we'll be keeping you updated on where that motorcade will be traveling as he heads over to where Peter is at Century Village. When Obama leaves Palm Beach County tomorrow morning, his campaign in Florida continues with stops in Fort Myers and Orlando.
And President Obama's visit means traffic backups for commuters this evening. President Obama isn't expected to travel on I-95. Once he's finished speaking, President Obama will be traveling to Manalapan, where he will be staying overnight at the Ritz-Carlton. So if you're in that area this evening, you may be aware that there are some traffic delays. And Manalapan is a small town in Palm Beach County. The small beachside community is only 2.4 miles. We have confirmed now that the president will be staying at the Ritz-Carlton in Manalapan, and that's where our team coverage on the presidential visit continues tonight. CBS 12's Al Peffley is outside the Ritz-Carlton. And Al,
there's plenty of security inside and outside the hotel. And although no one has told us anything officially, it seems fairly obvious based on what we're seeing out here that the president will be spending the night at the Ritz-Carlton Palm Beach here in Manalapan. There are a number of sheriff's cars in the driveway of the hotel. There's a bomb-sniffing dog that's being used to check cars and trucks before they're allowed to drive up to the front entrance of the hotel. In the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton, I saw there was a metal detector that's been set up inside the front door. The Secret Service is in there, and so are sheriff's deputies checking everyone who comes in. Meanwhile, people at a shopping plaza across the street are watching the scene unfold, knowing the president will be here later tonight.
Well, when the guy told me that the president was coming, I was kind of like in shock to be this close to the president, you know. But it's a blessing, you know, for him to come down here and speaking to everybody.
Oh, I think it's tremendously exciting and it's intimidating when you think of the fact that he's one of the, if not the most powerful man in the world.
No one from the Ritz-Carlton would comment on the president's visit, but they did tell me the hotel is open to registered guests only. Also, deputies cleared the Lantana Public Beach, which is right next to this hotel. About 4 this afternoon, they made all the sunbathers and everyone else get off the beach. We haven't seen any protesters gathered across the street from the hotel yet. It seems rather quiet overall. Some bystanders have come by and have asked us, so when do we think the president might arrive? It's hard to say exactly, but my guess would probably be in the neighborhood of 8 o'clock or so tonight. Live in Manalapan, Al Peffley, CBS 12 News.
All right, Al, thanks for that live report. We want to take you now to those live pictures of the president at the airport where he is leaving. And as I told you earlier, the heat index is 100. The president has taken off his jacket. It is warm here in the Palm Beaches. Now, we want to see your pictures of President Obama as he continues his evening campaigning through West Palm Beach. If you see his motorcade go by, safely see it, shoot it, and send it to newstips@cbs12.com. We will air your pictures and your video of the president throughout the evening and on our website at cbs12.com.
Yeah, a lot of pictures being taken right now from this event. I want to see those pictures. So if you guys can email them to us, we will put them on tonight at 7. Now, remember, we have you covered this election season. Just head to our website at cbs12.com and click on the Vote 2012 link. There you can read more on President Obama's aim in Florida to keep the heat on Mitt Romney.
And the president now is getting into the presidential motorcade car there. He's going to be leaving PBIA momentarily. Again, the exact route that he is taking is secret. That is not for the public to know for security reasons. And you can see the Secret Service there. And as Ben had mentioned, that is a bulletproof car. No one can touch it or they'll get a shock. And of course, to protect the president, everyone's securing now the airport, and as we mentioned, there will be rolling closures as the president makes his way to Century Village. Again, not sure what the route's going to be.
Right. The last time that he visited our area, I actually got caught up in one of the rolling closures, and to my surprise, they really have it down. It's not that long of a delay. They do block all the exits. If he takes 95, there will be a couple exits that they will have to block off, but they try